Hi everyone, and welcome back to Carla. Well, once again, I'm back home from work, and it's time to start work on Carla again. Last time we left it right after I finished up welding the plates on the starboard side, and now it's time to open up the port side and have a look. We're going to change all the plates. Hopefully we don't have to do much more than change the plates over here. I've had a look at it and it should only be the plates, but yeah, you know, every time I say we only have to do this, well, we always have to do 10 more things. So hopefully we can manage to keep it to just the plate this time. I marked it with the grinder from the other side when I had the starboard side open. I used it to make some holes so we don't have to search for the frames this time. So we better get started before my arm falls off. Now look at that. It was nice finally to be able to take the whole thing out in one piece. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Now we only need the last piece down there, but it's attached to the frame, that's why I haven't taken it off. As you probably know, it's attached to the frame in here. So we'll have to cut it all the way down on this side as well, but I need a new cutting disc for the grinder before I can do this. I am seriously thinking of changing this frame as well, because it's really corroded. I think it's quite thin in some places, thinner than I thought when I opened up from the other side. And we might as well, because we have 1, 2, and then we could have 3 new frames in here. We could also even out the hole for the stern tube as well, instead of having a hole that's a bit too big and not that straight of a cut. We might make a nice one like the other ones. But we'll see about that. For now, we have to take this out. I was thinking of maybe using the plasma cutter for this, because as I talked about in a previous episode, I have a theory that the plasma cutter has been cutting badly because the flow adjustment on my compressor has been broken. And I just did some test cuts in the workshop, and it looks like it's doing much better now. So you might see that being used again soon. You never know. And when I opened up from the other side, I noticed over here that there was quite a divot, or a corroded a pit, yeah, call it what you want. It looked like it was really thin right here, and when I cut this, a crack appeared, and it turns out the metal is really thin right there. I don't know what caused this, but look, it's down to 1 millimeter. I'm pretty sure, or less. Just here. I don't know why, but we'll definitely have to change that as well. And it's all the way into here. Oh well. I'll get another grinding disc, no, cutting disc for the grinder, and then we'll remove this and have a look. Now look at this. Here you can really see how deep the pit is, or the corrosion is, and over here is where it goes on to become what we found up here. This is right where we had this oily rag fiber kind of thing. I don't know what it was. Where we had the concrete, it's absolutely perfect. Down here as well. But this material really wasn't good for it. So it's beneath the concrete. It's not even at the top. So somehow water has been able to come down alongside the concrete and go into this material, and then just eat its way almost out the ship side. So yeah. Now this is nice. This is nice to get away from the boat and put in some new steel instead. That's a good feeling. Okay, I'm just assessing this frame because, well, now I also cut into it. And I really want to replace it, and it doesn't take long to make a new one. So now I'm just test fitting the stern tube again, to see how much room we actually have in there, so that I can make the frame as big as possible. Instead of having a hole that's way too big for the stern tube, I want to make a smaller hole, because a smaller hole makes a stronger frame, of course. So I'll just get a wrench and I'll tighten the stern tube here. It should make the stern tube go roughly where it's supposed to be, and then we can measure how much to put onto the sides of this frame, or how much smaller we can make the hole in the frame. Sounds like a plan. Do we really need so much?
I'm not sure. It seems a little much.
Where's all this going to go?
No idea.
There's only 2 shelves in there. No, it's 8 shelves.
It seems wild.
Yeah. Of course, it's the door as well.
That's the door. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Some of it is for the door.
I'm sure
Yeah.
your calculations are correct.
I hope so. They usually are, but
It does seem like a lot.
seems like quite a lot. This.
Yep. This one not so heavy.
No. We got this in 45 millimeters.
45
So-
millimeters.
Hopefully we can do something with the doors. Hi.
Hello.
And there's Erland on the tractor. Electrical tractor.
Electrical tractor, ja.
Hi Erle.
Vi har gået ud på gyngen, og så har vi faldet ned.
Well, we're back in the workshop, and now that we have some heat installed in here, it's time to have a look at the doors, because, well, the heat is just flying out of here. We'll never get any kind of heat in here unless we fix these doors. I love having the doors here because they're really good for bringing in larger stuff when we're working, and at some point we have to bring in some larger machines as well when we have to do some woodworking. So I don't want to close it up permanently. I want to be able to open and close them, but it's okay if it's a bit tricky to open them, as long as we can do it. So I want to put on a layer of insulation and then a wooden sheet, and then we'll stuff something into the edges afterwards to make it airtight or something. I don't know, but for now I've bought some wood so we can make a frame onto each door, so we make a small gap, or we make a space for the insulation to be in, and then we'll put some masonite on top of it, I think. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this, because when this is done, I think it's much easier to get some heat on in here. And, well, we need it. So let's get going. This machine is very old and very cheap, but it's amazing how much I've built with this one. I got it from my father-in-law, I think 15 years ago or something, when we were living in a caravan and I needed one. He gave me this because he bought a new one, and well, it's still working. I really like it. It's noisy as it's really noisy, but it works. The only thing I did to it was I changed the blade on it, and yeah, it's just working. So yeah. Bum, bum, bum. I wonder if it's the same in the bottom. Ah, no, it's not. '89, 2.5 centimeters wider in the bottom. That's okie dokie. Okay, I want to put these so that they fit all the way up against the outer boards on the doors. And to do that, we'll have to cut away some of the frame to accommodate for these boards we have strengthening the doors. So I'll just draw where we need to cut, and then we'll go cut and chisel out the, yeah. Now, like with so many other things, this really doesn't have to be made into some kind of rocket science. Nobody's going to notice if you took off 5 millimeters too much, or not. Yeah, not enough is not okay, but a little too much doesn't matter. Nobody's going to see it, and yeah, well, if it works, it works. So many times I work really quickly with stuff like this, and then I spend my time perfecting the other things, like the boat, for instance. Yeah. Now I almost forgot what to do. We'll take off approximately 3 centimeters down here, and we'll make a box. Come on. Again, this is not perfect woodworking, but it works. Hopefully. Hey, what do you know? I think we have inches. Yeah, I have inches on the back of this one. Huh? But I wonder if these inches are the same as American inches. I think there's a difference. Okie dokie, we have to make this cutout. It's wide on this side and here, and it should accommodate the boards up there. We'll just draw up the ones on the other end as well. No, where did it go? There it is. Okie dokie, now to make the cutouts. I think we're simply just going to saw it out like this, and then chop it out with a chisel. And of course, right where we have one of these. Oh well. Let's have a go. This is not going to go the way I want it. I can feel it. Because we have another one of these. I just fought with one in the other end of this one. I think I'll cut it some more. And hopefully that will make it a bit easier to chisel out. Maybe I should have done that with the other ones as well. Boom, boom. This. Okay, let's take it to the floor and see if we can chisel out. Right on the money, but better be careful. Yeah. Yeah, that definitely wasn't nice. Holy moly. Oh well. Nobody's going to see it, of course. Except you guys. I want to see if this fits. Haha! Now look at that. It actually fits. Well, ish. Up here, it's absolutely perfect. And down here, well, I removed a little too much. Quite a lot too much actually. But it doesn't matter. We're going to cover it with a sheet. So when we're done, you won't be able to see it. And anyways, it doesn't matter because this is only here to support the sheet and nothing else. It's nothing structural as such, not yet anyway. So let's continue. I have spent a lot of time watching people doing woodwork on YouTube. And I really admire them for what they're doing. They spend a long time perfecting their crafts, and they're really good at it. And I like using it. Like I take what I want from the programs and I use that. But that doesn't mean that everything I do from now on has to be done at the same level as they do. Because if I did that, well, this door would take the whole winter for me to perfect, instead of just, making the door. But there are some things. I know how to make a beautiful cut. But that doesn't mean I have to do it every time. Yeah, I hope you know what I mean. What is it they're called in English? These round ones in the wood. I don't remember. Sometimes you can just feel, well, I shouldn't be doing this. I shouldn't be doing this, but I do it anyway, and then I screw it up. It's really something I need to learn. I need to learn when to stop. Oh well, this is finished. Let's go see if it fits. Like this. Yep. Okay, and that's a lot nicer than the other one. Perfect. Now we just need to grab one of these. I think it was the shorter one had to go on top. Can you see this? Like this. This one had to go up here. Like that. Yeah. And the other one on the bottom. Well, let's fasten it onto the door and see how it looks. I wonder if we should straighten the door before we do this. Yeah, I think this is going to be really great. Actually, look at that. Well, with this side done now, I think it's time to move on to the other side. There is one thing though. Down here I have a small door for the cats, and I really want to keep that one. I want to be able to close it off, so we'll have to figure something out. But for now, we'll leave it. We'll build around it, and then we'll make some kind of small door for it, so that when I have to close off to put some heat on in here, I can close it, and then I can open it when I leave again. I installed this last year, or this year, I think. I cut the small hole for the cats. We had a lot of troubles with rats and mice, mostly rats. Last year we have some apple trees in the back, and well, when the apples fall to the ground in the fall, the rats eat them, and then they lived in here before we made it into a workshop. And I really don't want the rats to move in here again, so that's why I made a hole in the door for the cat to walk in and out. Because this workshop is empty for 1 month at a time. The 4 weeks that I'm out sailing, nobody comes in here. Well, Heidi maybe goes over here a couple of times, but mostly it's empty. So I would rather have the stray cats living in here than having rats taking over everything in here and chewing my machines and my wiring and everything. So that's why I have the small door for the cats, and that's why I want to leave it. So yeah, we'll definitely have to figure something out there. I think this can be the same. Yeah, 182. And over here, definitely not the same. 181 maybe? A centimeter less. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll cut the long ones first, and then we'll take 181 and 182. Well, now I've drawn up all the places we need to cut. I don't know what I've been doing here. Okay, not all of them. Now I have. What have I been thinking? Oh well. On the bottom over there, we don't need to do any cuts because there's actually room on the far side of the plank to put this piece. So we don't have to do any cutouts, and that's even and that's the worst one. So yeah, lucky me. I still don't know what to do about the cat door, but we'll see about that. Yeah, let's just cut these out. Have I told you that I really need a new table? It's every time I have to work with this, but yeah. Could be worse, I guess. So, let's see if it fits. Haha, look at that. And then this one. Yep. Okay. Oh, that's nice. I do have a wire up here, though. I think this is the power going to the boat. Oh well, we'll figure something out. Maybe drill a hole in the wall up here and draw the power in that way. Never mind. Oh, this is okay. And then this. How about this? Okay, it fits. And the small one fits as well. So let's give it some screws and then yeah, get on with it. Oh. Okay, I have to find something that fits exactly what's missing from this board and up to the thickness of these, because we're going to need it here as well. I want to add that behind this block, so that when we put the sheet back on, we can mount these blocks again to fit the bar I'm locking the doors with. These I think will just mount on top of this, and that'll fit perfectly, but this we still need something to go in between where it is now and where it's going to be on top. I can't really seem to find anything that's the right thickness. But I just had a thought. We do have a planer right over there. A thickness planer, I don't know, a plane. A machine that can make this one smaller. I don't remember. Is it a plane? I just googled it. It said thickness planer, but it just sounds ridiculous. That's translated directly from Danish into English, and I'm not sure that's correct. But maybe you know what it's called. I'll drag it out and we'll see if we can fire it up, and then maybe plane this down to the correct thickness. Let's do that. Okay, so I dragged this out of storage over there, and as you can see, I've rigged it so that I can plane off things in the middle of it instead of planing on the top. Planing in the middle makes you able to reach a desired thickness, as far as I know, where planing on the top, you straighten the wood out. I'm not sure actually, but I know that I can make this smaller if I put it in through the machine. So that's what we're going to do, but it's really noisy. So yeah, close your ears. Okay, so look at this. We went from this thickness to this thickness. Absolutely beautiful. Now, this is one of the machines we got from a friend of the family, Jack, as well. And again, Jack, if you're watching, thank you. This is absolutely amazing. I never thought, well, I thought I might own a machine like this at some point. I was counting on we needed one for the project at some point, but I didn't think we would have one already. And it makes stuff like this, yeah, so much easier. So yeah, thank you very much. We really appreciate it. And we have a lot of machines around the workshop. To you that don't know, Jack brought us a whole van full of equipment we could use on this Carla project, and it's absolutely amazing. And this is one of them. So, oh well, back to work. This one fits nicely now. We planed it down, I think, almost 7 millimeters, and that's quite a lot actually. So yeah, now it fits, and if we need more, well, we can just make some. Okay, it's not raindrops that are falling, it's tools and a seahorse. Kids. Oh well, haha, look at that, it fits now. And there we are. Well, I guess we might as well pull these off now, and then we can replace them later. And I think that's the last I'll do today. then I have to go to the kindergarten to some Christmas arrangement. Yeah, let's do that. Well, now it's time to make a new one of this frame, and as you can see there's not much left of the frame, and that's why I want to change it. I just put in the stern tube, and it's roughly where it's going to be when we're finished. So you can really see how much extra room we actually have to use. We might as well make the hole as small as possible, because it makes a stronger frame. So now I'll draw using this small, very technical ruler. I'll draw on the frame all the way down, and then I'll know when I get to the workshop. I bring the frame, of course. I'll put on the ruler and I'll know how much to add to the frame, because as you can see we have some extra room. And after I've done that, I'll measure out where the pipe is according to the frame and to that side over there, and then we can hopefully cut the hole a little more precisely than what it's been until now. So let's get going. Well, I just moved the table today. I just want to show you. We just bought this small wagon on Marketplace for $30. Do you believe that? $30, and it's fully functional. The tires, they keep the air and everything. I'm amazed. We're going to use it behind the small tractor to move branches and stuff. As you've seen, we have a lot of trees on the property, and I only have a very small wagon behind my small tractor to haul away all the branches every time we take down a tree or we have to make some room. So I've needed this. It's an old horse-drawn wagon. Somebody made it many years ago, and now I turned it into a tractor-drawn wagon. It's very lightweight, so it's very easy for the garden tractor to haul it around. So yeah, really satisfied. So until I don't know where to put it, so for now it's in here. I might take it out when I'm grinding, but otherwise it's going to stay in here. Maybe we'll make a shed for it someday, but we'll see. Anyways, as you saw, I had to cut a little more away, a little more of the sheets away in the boat to get to the top of this hole. I wanted to take away the whole thing, the whole hole. And the only way I could do that was to move the edge of the plate so that I could get to it, and also so that I can get to weld it again. We're going to make this hole a lot smaller. I have the measurements from the bottom and up to the middle of the pipe, and I have it from the plate and to the middle of the pipe, and then we'll just make a hole that's slightly bigger than the stern tube. So yeah, but look at this. It's not much frame that's been left in there, not at all. So you could argue there was no frame at all in here. Of course, you have the concrete, and the concrete strengthens everything, but I still would like to have as much frame as possible in there. So yeah, let's find a piece of sheet and yeah, cut a new one. Well, that fits. I have cheated a little bit. I was over here just 5 minutes ago, just taking a measurement. But it really fits quite nicely. I just have to weld this. I made a notch. Accidentally, I cut wrong with the big angle grinder, but yeah, should be alright. Now we just need to make a hole in it. I have roughly the place, the spot where the middle of the stern tube is going to be. And because this is so close to where it's attached, even though you move the end of the stern tube several centimeters, it'll only be millimeters it's moving in the first hole. In the second hole it'll be more, in the third hole even more, but we're lucky that this one is, well, the smallest one, but also the one where the stern tube is going to move the least when we adjust it. Of course, when it's fixed in place, it's not going to move anymore. Yeah. So, let's go make a mark and then bring out the plasma cutter and yeah, make a hole. Well, I just managed to get this done before Heidi and the kids came home yesterday. And as you can see, we have quite a difference between the two holes. This is definitely going to be a lot stronger than the old one. As you can probably see as well, the hole is a bit to one side in the frame. But that's because the whole boat is a little bit crooked. So just to use as much of the frame as possible, I just shifted the hole a little bit to accommodate the stern tube. I could of course just have made it bigger, but that would just have meant that we made this side smaller, so we might as well. And nobody's going to see it down there. That's the way it is. But before we can go and weld this into the boat, I'll have to make some kind of tent over there, because we've had a lot of wind and a lot of rain the last few days, and I can't weld when we have winds like that. It'll simply blow the gases away, like, yeah, well, all the other times. So we'll have to go make a tent around the workplace, and I bought myself some tarps, myself some string. So let's go set up a small tent. There's so many strings on this. I can hardly find out what to pull to loosen. I want to loosen up this so that I can put another top underneath it, and we can drain the water over the side instead of in towards the keel. But getting it loosened, yeah. Oh well. We have 2 sets of tarps on the boat now, and they're both really bad. I think within the next couple of weeks we'll have to change the whole thing, because the sun is slowly destroying this kind of tarp. But I really like it because we get a lot of light through it, but it only works for maybe 2 years, I think, and the 2 years are up, so now it's time to put on some new ones, but it's going to take a while, so it'll be in a weekend when Heidi's home. There we go. Okay, I think we got it. Well, I think if we could just close off the back in there now, this is going to be okay. We can shut it if there's any wind, or we can open it so I can walk in and out. But this, I think we'll have to close. Yeah, I'll just get the new tab. Well, we finally got a new 20-liter bottle for the welder. So now we can take off this one, put it in reserve, and then use the big one. So let's do that.
Okay, that's about it for this week. We will continue welding next time. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like it and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out a lot. And finally, don't hesitate to join the crew with a membership to the channel. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.